Sheila, as your husband, I'm asking you not to put that up. All right, I didn't want to get tough, but as your husband, I am now telling you not to put that up. Take that down.
Jonathan, I have been through the marriage ceremony twice in my life, so when I married you, the novelty had faded, and yes, I may have dropped off for a minute or so.
Dropped off?
To avoid any problems, I granted yes whenever the registrar left a gap, but she waffled on so much, I spent most of the time thinking how I'd like to slap her with a live cuttlefish. Consequently, I may have answered yes to the question, do you agree that the lolloping lump you're marrying gets to tell you what you can or can't do for the rest of your life?
No, there was no mention of that.
Good.
Mind you, if I'd have known you were asleep, I'd have slipped her 10 quid to bung it in. But what she did do was to pronounce as man and wife, which means that you are now Mrs. Haslam.
Which I'm very nearly delighted about. But as I've said in my memo, at work I think it would be more convenient if people still call me by my old name.
What, Mrs. Whiplash?
Jonathan, if you're not very careful, they will soon be calling me the Merry Widow. Now, I know you're not happy about it.
Sheila! Oh, my God, what are we going to do? This is it, you know. This is where something inside me finally bursts and I'm found slumped on the sluice room floor. Or at least that's what they want, but it's not going to happen. And you know why? Because I'm going to hand in my notice and go and live on a kibbutz.
Any ideas?
Not a sausage.
You don't know what's happened?
All right, I'll ask you what the problem is if you try not to get hysterical.
Everything's the problem. Being unit manager of this dump while some bimbo in Hollywood is leisurely drifting up and down Tom Cruise is the problem. Not being able to eat one chocolate cupcake without blowing up like Mr. Blobby is the problem.
Yes, maybe I should try and explain the meaning of the word hysterical.
Do you notice anything different about this corridor?
The clocks are working.
No. This corridor looks different because normally there are people in it doing things. Cleaners cleaning and mopping, and porters taking bets for the 3:30 at Haydock Park.
So where is everyone?
They've walked out. And do you know why they've walked out? Because, in an effort to save money, upstairs farmed out all the cleaning and the portering to a private firm. And in an effort to save money, the private firm decided not to employ half the staff. But since the half they did employ are all friends of the half they didn't employ, they've downed mops and are now standing at the front gate chucking tomatoes. Well, surely you noticed them when you came in.
No. We came in the back gate.
It was a nice day, so we walked.
Nice day?
Morning.
Absolutely scandalous.
Yes, I know, you told me.
I pay one of the porters £10 to clean my car. Fella spent all yesterday afternoon shining it up, and then I drive in this morning and the same man pelts it with 6 eggs and a cabbage.
Really gets me angry.
Well, quite.
Wasting good food on your car. I said to one of them, why don't you chuck mud or bricks? I mean, they've just finished building the new psychiatric wing. There's all kinds of stuff they could lob. Breeze blocks, lumps of wood. Or they could empty a cement mixer over your bonnet. They've got no sense.
Neil? Forgive me asking, old boy, but have you sat in a staple gun or something?
George, I desperately need to talk to someone. Of course, one hates to impose on a good and close friend, but sometimes one has to unburden oneself.
My dear chap, I'm sure he won't mind.
Who?
Your friend. Anyway, I expect you'd like me to leave while you make the call,
No.
Actually,
I was thinking of you.
Oh.
The thing is, Sister Pilchington, in geriatrics, has accused me of sexual harassment.
Sister Pilchington with the protruding nose hair and galloping halitosis?
Yes.
The one with 2.5 teeth and size 14 feet?
That's the one, yes.
The woman's built like a yeti.
I know what she looks like.
So, what's the attraction?
George, I have not been chasing Sister Pilchington. I would rather sexually harass a telephone kiosk. She clearly has a fixation with me, and this is the result. The point is, upstairs are taking it very seriously. There are murmurings of an investigation, questions being asked amongst the female members of staff to see if I've tried it on with any of them.
Have you?
George, I have always had the utmost respect for women. Any one of them will testify that I'm a perfect gentleman.
Yes.
Well, obviously, someone's got to go out the front gate and give them a right mouthful.
Sister, exactly how unhappy are they?
Well, they seem quite pleased when they got Giles with a melon.
Yes, I'm not awfully partial to fruit.
Well, someone's got to go.
Yes, I know that. I just think it's basically an administration problem.
Oh, no. No, I'm sorry.
Joyce, every morning you plaster your face with avocado cream. Who knows? A couple of melons and a ripe banana might wipe years off.
I don't care. Find someone else.
Who else is there?
Excuse me, I was just wondering if we were going to be doing...
Giles! We want you to do us a little favour.
I'd really rather not.
We haven't said what it is yet.
I just know if it was something good, you wouldn't be asking me.
Who said we were asking? Now listen.
Oh!
Let's knack it in for the front gate job.
Sorry to barge in like that. The fact is, having come through that dreadful demonstration down at the front gate, I was anxious to assure myself that none of you ladies has been accosted.
No, we're fine.
Oh, splendid. That's such a weight off my mind. I was just saying to George, this sort of thing can be terribly debilitating to the female sensibilities. Don't you agree?
Oh, yes, I do.
We all reckon someone ought to go down there and talk to them.
Absolutely, and the sooner the better. If you wouldn't mind giving them a message from me.
No.
If they continue to frighten and distress our female colleagues...
No, I'm not going.
But surely you don't expect one of these delicate flowers to brave the mob? Those people are quite possibly dangerous.
There's no possibly about it. I'd have a broom down my throat in 10 seconds flat.
I must say, I'm disgusted. Never in my life have I known such unchivalrous
All
behaviour.
you have to do is go out there and tell them we understand their grievance and we support them 100%, but that we're concerned about the patients and we need them back at work.
Pardon?
You don't mind, do you?
I
mean, as you say, really should be a man.
Man, you feeling any better, Giles? You know them better than I.
Can't send Giles? It's got to be a real man.
Well, obviously the only real man is me, so...
No. If a lady asks me to do something, then of course I'm only too delighted to oblige. And what's more, if there's anything else I can do, you only feel free to ask. Any time, day or night.
Oh, for God's sake,
No.
I'll go.
No, please.
Have you any idea?
Not a sausage.
How about calling yourself Mrs. Sheila Haslam Sabatini?
You are kidding.
Why?
Jonathan, it was 4 years before I could say Mrs. Sheila Sabatini without covering people with spit. Anyway, I think double-barrel names are ridiculous. I once knew a man called Mortimer Whips James. That's not a name, it's a rumour. Mind you, with him being a High Court judge, it was probably true.
I'm just not sure I like Mr. Copeland calling me a delicate flower.
No. If he'd known you better, he'd have said gorse bush.
And why is he being so nice to all the women all of a sudden? I mean, I always thought he was probably gay and just got married for appearances.
He did once have an affair with another woman.
If anyone got fresh with me, you'd pulverise them, wouldn't you?
Of course I would. If there was anything left after I had dragged you off.
Sheila, he's been gone half an hour. For all we know, he could be lying out there crushed under 18 porters. Or worse still, Big Reg from maintenance.
Oh, my God! I wish people would stop panicking. Every porter and cleaner out there has worked with us for years. They're practically personal friends. Why would any one of them want to harm any one of us?
Where are they getting all that fruit? Oh, no.
Joyce, he's all right, I promise. It looks bad, but I'm I'm sure they've just roughed him up and there's nothing serious.
Where is it? My umbrella! Oh, if you've lost it, I'll give you such a bashing. Umbrella? Sheila, that cost me £24.50 in Selfridge's sale, and the girls said they wouldn't be getting any more in.
I know.
It's the only one that matches my hair. When I have that touch of red put in that everyone says makes me look just like Vivian Lee.
I think they said Woody Allen. Here, let's go back to your office and we'll have a sit down and maybe a nice cup of something.
Yes. No, I'm sorry.
Sheila, look, I know how you feel. You're one of the few surgeons in this place who actually cares when the patients don't get their operations. But the fact is, we're gonna...
Bravo. Bring back the rope, that's what I say.
You went back out there?
You know me, anything for one of our lady colleagues.
But the fact is, we're gonna have to close down for the rest of the day. I mean, what's the alternative? Go down to the wards and fetch the patients ourselves? Give Joyce a bucket and tell her to clean up afterwards? No. No, Sheila. No.
Yes, we can do it ourselves. We just have to muck in.
Muck in? Can you imagine George Oakwinold in a mop?
I prefer to imagine him sitting on one, but yes, if
These people are consultant surgeons. You cannot ask a world authority on lymph nodes to chuck some vim on a chamois and start scrubbing the floor.
What do you want me to do? Forget why we're all here, slob around all day with a fag in my mouth, listening to Take That on a Walkman?
Look,
yes, maybe you're right. Maybe I should take the opportunity for a quick leg wax and see if the video shop can rent us a few episodes of Bottom. Jonathan, there are people in this hospital who have been in car accidents. There are people in this hospital so delirious with illness they think the food is delicious. I have a patient with a toenail that is ingrowing to the point that it has reached his nipples. But worse than that, there are people here in pain, unremitting, excruciating pain, and I think it's about time that you and everyone else in this department remembered that.
Well said. As usual, it takes a female to remind us all where our duty lies. Now, I couldn't find any vim, but I'm sure a dash of this will buff up into a nice shine. Ah, George, there you are. Get stuck in.
Well done, everyone. I know it's difficult, but believe me, you're all doing a wonderful job. Oh, my God, look at the state of this place. Joyce!
What?
Would you mind?
Yes, I would mind. Sheila, I've done 6 theatres in the last 10 minutes. Look at me.
Yes, well, try not to splash the water about.
It's not water, it's sweat.
Oh, Joyce, that's marvellous. You must have lost pounds.
I haven't lost them. They're in me boots. And what is more, who is going to pay for this?
What do you want, a lobotomy?
Don't get funny with me. I had a hot hairdresser slaving over me for 3 hours last night.
Joyce, I couldn't care less if you've been injected with antelope hormones and had your face lifted to the point that it is interfering with low-flying aircraft. There is work to be done here, and I need to know if someone's going to do it.
Yes.
Thank you.
And when you've finished your ear, Theatre 5 have just burst an abscess.
Come on, Joyce.
Dr. Aslam, we're really not getting our patients here fast enough. Can't you speed things up?
Well, it's not easy, you know. Can we please have a porter down here now?
My good man, as an ENT surgeon, I worked with some of the great ears, noses and throats of our time, and I resent being called for like a Scottish terrier.
George, I'm quite prepared to believe that you personally handled Oliver Cromwell's wart. Right now, we need a patient.
Good God, I fetched you one 10 minutes ago. What are you doing with the damn things?
Operating on them, George. What do? Flog them life insurance?
Look, you did agree to this. You fetch our patients, and then when Sheila's finished, we fetch yours.
I did not agree to this. Neil Copeland agreed on behalf of everyone because he...
Because what?
What's more, your wife has an operating list longer than the Tour de France. By the time she's finished, I'll be signing on for my pension.
Rubbish. Even I can't do them that fast.
Go on, George. Be a sport.
Keating Ward. Where exactly is that?
Where is it? George, you've been working here since the Great Plague. Surely you must have done ward rounds at some point.
Oh, good Lord, yes. Almost certainly.
Oh, my God. Look, you take the lift down to geriatrics.
Yes.
And when you get there, stick your teeth in a glass and climb into bed.
3rd floor, George. Run.
No, there's no point running from her. When she's got a steam up, she can outpace a whippet.
Oh, there's going to be trouble now. Big trouble. Have you seen this?
Yes, Joyce, we have all seen your umbrella.
This would not keep the rain off a dung beetle.
Now, just a second. One of our colleagues just had to fight for his life with that. What's more important, a cheap umbrella or Neil Copeland? Yes, normally I'd agree with you.
Stone me! That man walked through fire for you. Let me remind you, he went out there when basically it was your responsibility. And not only that, all morning he's been carrying things round for all the nurses, complimenting Sheila on the way she's organised things, fetching patients, opening doors for people. What's up with him?
Well, if I were a vet and he were a bull, I would right now have a thermometer up his backside.
Oh, sister, everything trundling along nicely?
No, everything's a hopeless, disastrous mess. In fact, when I think back, this is probably the biggest, most horrendous cock-up I've ever been involved in.
Ah, so you weren't here when the staff canteen attempted crispy duck pancakes?
Was there something you wanted, Mr. Copeland?
No, nothing at all, no. Well, yes, I was rather wondering what you thought of me as a person.
How do you mean?
Well, you know, if someone asked, I mean, would you say that I'd ever brushed up against you in a lascivious manner?
No.
You've never heard me make lewd comments as you passed by, or noticed me winking suggestively?
No.
Or breathing abnormally heavily when there's just the two of us in the lift?
Look! I don't know what you've been up to, but I am not interested, okay?
Sorry?
Michael!
Despite his marriage to Mrs. Sabatini, Dr. Haslam wishes it to be known that his name is still Dr. Haslam.
Yeah.
Is that really necessary?
Yes, it is. Because with you still using your old name, half the nurses have started calling me Dr. Sabatini. Do you realise how embarrassing that is? It makes it look like in our marriage you wear the trousers. Yeah, well, it makes it look as if I wear the frock.
Well, don't go for anything low cut. There's nothing worse than a hairy bust.
Look,
Anyway, you ought to be proud to be called Sabatini. It's a very old and distinguished name.
Haslam is a very old and distinguished name.
Up where you come from, quite probably. But then so are Clutterbuck, Sidebottom, Arbuthnot, Grimstag, and quite probably Hotpot and Hulkingston Rovers. Oh, where the hell has George got to?
Sheila.
Ah, at last. Jonathan, you start the anaesthetic straight away. I'll get scrubbed up. And George, where's the patient?
Oh, I'm dreadfully sorry. I forgot him.
Sister Pilchington.
Yes. So you see, when the waste matter hits the ventilator, as it were, I was rather hoping people would stand by me as a gentleman, incapable of anything so despicable.
Of course we will. Won't we, Cheryl? Has she accused anyone else?
No, as far as I'm aware, it's just me.
And me.
Joyce! What? Oh, my God. Is that what you look like when you clean at home?
No, this is what I try to look like when I'm not in the mood for sex. What do you want?
I know grey isn't strictly your colour.
Oh, no. I've told you very clearly I am not going for patients.
It's just a quick trip down to the men's geriatric ward.
Oh, I'm certainly not going there. They may be old, but they perk up damn quick during a bed bath.
Well, they're not going to leave on you, are they? You look like Joe Cocker.
I see.
Joyce, I mean, we're really good. I mean, I wouldn't ask if we weren't really. I mean, if there were anyone else that I could. That Joe Cocker bit really hurt, didn't it?
Excuse me?
Yes, can I help you?
Well, I don't know. You see, the porter just brought me up from the ward and went in that door, and then 2 minutes later he came out of that one dressed as a surgeon and said that he was going to be doing my operation.
Yes, it's nothing to worry about. We're just a bit short-staffed.
Oh. What are you short of? Surgeons or porters?
Oh, porters. Porters.
Right, that's it.
Oh, Giles!
No, Sheila, that's enough. We're stopping this right now.
But it's all going wonderfully.
It is not going wonderfully. We're frightening the patients. And God knows what'll happen if one of them claps eyes on her. Anyway, what are we achieving, eh?
We've done a walk.
And that practically dropped off on its own. I'm sorry. We've all made a huge effort. We can all be proud of ourselves, but we're packing this in. Anyway, it's only a 24-hour walkout. They'll all be back in the morning.
Oh, thank heavens you've arrived. Giles, now listen. I've just had an extremely confidential phone call about you and... Oh, by the way, the 24-hour stoppage has been converted into an open-ended one.
Joyce, how is it that you're
Well,
not?
I came in the back gate. Big Reg owed me a favour. I've just had a phone... I said I've just had a phone call!
Joyce! For God's sake!
Well, but we all know the drill, don't we? George, you go and fetch the patient.
Sheila, this is not our problem.
Well, whose problem is it then? Martina Navratilovan's?
My dear lady, I think we should let upstairs handle it.
Upstairs couldn't handle a Beck's Bissell.
Will you listen to me? I said I've just had a deeply serious phone call.
Ah! Neil, you'll help out, won't you?
I'm sorry, George and I have certain problems that have to be dealt with first.
That's all right. I'm a surgeon. I can do 2 prostates in 45 minutes.
No, it's not that kind of problem. You see, I didn't tell you last night, but
Mr.
apparently...
Hopwin and Mr. Copeland are going to be arrested for doing terrible things on the men's geriatric ward.
George!
No one said anything about being arrested.
Oh, they have. The woman in the flower shop's having a sweepstake.
Upstairs is asking for you on the phone.
Well, what do they want?
Don't know, it's private.
Oh.
The health minister's coming to open the new psychiatric wing on Friday, and he wants to know if Sheila can arrange for some of the theatre staff to be present. Now listen, I don't want to worry you, but you're in big, big trouble.
They've finished the new psychiatric wing.
Yes.
Sheila?
Sister Pilchington in geriatrics has accused you of sexual harassment.
Charles?
Now, the reason that I rarely come up and see you people is that there is no lift button marked Cloud Cuckoo Land, and I'm having trouble sawing 6 inches of a shotgun. But none of my staff will be coming to meet the health minister because they are all covered in fruit.
Sheila.
And I am damned if I'm going to stop what little work that I am still able to do to come and pump hands or anything else I can grab hold of with some thicko from Westminster.
Sheila!
What?
The new psychiatric wing. Who is going to be cleaning it?
On the other hand, if you scratch my back, then we may just avoid the health minister being hit in the chops by a grapefruit.
That's the first time I've shaken hands with an MP.
Yeah? You want to check you've still got your watch?
Only winks, I thought there'd be sandwiches and things.
I know. I think it's a disgrace.
Strange though, wasn't it? A great big new psychiatric wing. And Sister Pilchington, the only patient.
Makes you wonder why they need 17 porters and 22 cleaners.
Morning, Mrs. Haslam.
Haven't you read the notice? At work, I still require to be called Mrs. Sabatini. Would you mind saying it again?
Morning, Mrs. Haslam.
Oh, welcome back, Clarice. Oh, Mrs. Haslam.